Matthew chapter 5, the Sermon on the Mount, beginning today with verse 31. Let me set the stage before we begin looking at the text. Jesus has just made a bold statement that he did not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. At this point in his message, he is going to take the most common laws that everybody thinks about, and he's going to detail them. So he begins, "You have heard that it was said to the people long ago, 'Do not murder, and anyone who murders will be subject to judgment.' But I tell you that anyone who is angry with his brother will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to his brother, 'Raca,' is answerable to the Sanhedrin. But anyone who says, 'You fool,' will be in danger of hellfire." Now, here's the issue. Murder is when I decide to take someone else's life. It doesn't matter the vehicle, if I use a gun, a knife, or a hatchet, or a car, or doesn't matter what tools I use. Whenever I decide to take someone else's life, that is murder. If we watch our TVs, we find that that's a very common item. Almost every day you turn on the TV and you see a murder here and a murder there. Jesus says, though, there's a bigger problem here. It's one thing to have a murder that happens occasionally, but there's a far more fundamental problem of the heart and of the mind. You see, before you can actually commit a murder, you have to think about doing it. Before you have the passion necessary to commit a murder, you have to have a heart that's convicted to do so. So Jesus goes to the crux to the issue, goes right to the center issue here. He says, anyone who is angry with his brother. Now let me ask you, how many have ever gotten angry? Oh, come on. All of us have gotten angry at one point or another. How many have ever heard of the phrase road rage? How many of you have ever played a video game and gotten angry at the game? I mean, we get angry over all kinds of things, don't we? When we get angry with other people, that's the beginning of murder. Think about it. If I never get angry, the likelihood that I'm going to go kill somebody is pretty slim. Because my anger triggers in me those feelings and those thoughts of hurting somebody else. And so Jesus goes right to the central issue here. What is in our heart? If our heart is full of love and compassion and forgiveness, what are the chances that I'm going to commit murder? Pretty slim. You could have an accident, but that's about as far as you could go. Because if in the very beginning of our feelings and thoughts, we have an attitude of giving, of sharing, of serving, of loving and forgiving, then there's no room for violence. There's no room for hate. There's no room for murder. So the challenge for us is never to allow the anger in the beginning, in the starting point. Now, we live in a society where everybody's divided over something. If I were to take a poll today on how many of you like red carpet versus blue carpet, I guarantee there will be a divergence here. Or if I were to take a poll on, Democrat or Republican, I mean, it doesn't matter. We have so many issues that we can be at odds over. The question, though, is, what is our attitude toward each other? Now, I'll be honest with you. If you want red carpet or blue carpet, that's up to you. I don't care. I will tell you a secret. I won an argument yet several years ago over this very issue. And I've kind of regretted it. Because you see, red or burgundy carpet, it shows every little tiny thread. Every little speck just shows up automatically. I mean, you vacuum the floor and guess what? It's already there. And it doesn't go away. Now, in our bedroom, we have a carpet that we wouldn't have to vacuum for 3 or 4 years because you could never see the stuff. Now, I didn't say we did that, but it's totally different. You know, sometimes our preferences are counterproductive. They just don't really help us a lot. So the issue for us, as Jesus points out, is not to let our passions get so messed up that we insist on things that are going to be counterproductive, that are going to hurt us. So if we can, when we start getting angry, step back and realize that Jesus has already paid for all the sins. It doesn't matter what other people have done. Their sin is already forgiven. I don't have a right to hold it against them because Jesus has already paid for it. So my attitude ought to be his attitude of love, acceptance, and forgiveness. Let us pray. Almighty Heavenly Father, may we set out an attitude of love. May we forgive. And may we always seek to uplift others. And may your grace flow through us. For we pray in Jesus' name.